The topic today is single women over the age of 30 on the hunt for beta male resource provider Chump to provide money or babies. So you see this a lot with the trajectory of dating and men and women hooking up, sexual attraction, sexual market value, where we generally view each sex differently based on criteria of worth or place on the totem pole. So that's all going to vary from person to person, but in general, with a man and a woman, the woman is going to have the youth and the fertility to bear the kid, and the man has the burden of performance to be somebody in the world, to create some sort of pathway as to whatever success would mean not only to himself, but to that particular woman. So when we see just human nature in general and how we're social creatures, and so we need that socialization and like working with each other to plant food and teach the next generation, live together, specialization of jobs. So like your car breaks down, someone knows how to do that. But even before the days of cars, we need food, someone knows how to farm, so we all get together and farm and help the community grow and stay alive. And someone is very intuitive spiritually, or knows botany, knows about plants, and they discover a certain medicine or a certain cure with a plant, and then, oh, like, look what I did, and they're like, oh, that's cool, and then like more humans learn about it. It makes a lot of people's lives easier. So I'm just using that example to show how we're all social creatures. So we all play off each other to get by in this world. When it comes to men and women, though, specifically, men having that burden of performance and just the way we're wired, with men being testosterone, women being estrogen, men are going to have an easier time going it alone in general, because it's just the way that we're wired. So like the man going out and having to provide the shelter, having to provide the resources, having the burden of performance. In general, it's going to be easier for the man to be more stoic and to be on his path, to not need the socialization as much. Whereas it's not that men don't need women, or that women don't need men, or men need women, or women need men. They're both complementary sexes to each other. There's no better or worse gender, but there are differences. It's like two halves to the same coin. So just with the testosterone and the alphaness, the leadership, men are gonna just have the life path of being more stoic and really nobody caring about whether we succeed or not, because there's going to be that male testosterone, that competition, and so men are going to be on their own. Nobody cares about the man that has nothing to provide, and that's just kind of the way it is. And so because of that, and the way the economy is, older people have had more years to acquire money and wisdom, resources, build residuals, real estate, knowing themselves, knowing the world better, understanding women better. So the older guy is just always going to be of ascension, like aging like wine, versus women, the saying aging like milk. And that's not to say human worth or human value, but in general how we blanking on the word here, evaluate the opposite sex. How's it going? Yeah, but how we evaluate the opposite sex. I'm out here selling my my business today. It's my 4th day doing my business, so still in line with my YouTube channel, my business, other things I want to do. Just but yeah, tying that into what I'm saying, nobody owes me a sale on my business, right? Nobody owes you a sale at anything you do. Nobody owes you that job or that promotion. And so me as a 27-year-old man, just recently turning 27 the other day, we have the burden of performance, whether it's starting a business or making money, being in shape, being good looking, providing for a girl in whatever way she deems, spirituality, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, all of that. So that's why the man is going to have that ascension process. It's like, the alpha leader goes out and takes care of business so that the woman can bear the kid in a safe environment, doesn't have to work preferably, and she gets her man that's taking care of things, so that the family is of the most functional place that it can be. Not that a family is ever going to be 100% functional, but certain things tend to work out better. So that's why in this era of feminism, you see a lot of women, sometimes they'll say, well, women can make as much, and they can make more than men, and they can go get their career. It's like, yeah, they can do all that. They can go to college, they can get their career, they can party, they can sleep around, they can do whatever they want. It's you know, it's not about like shaming someone for their choices, but especially too, like with feminism, it's good up to a certain point. Like if we're at a point in human history where we just have this culture of, oh, men are better than women, and just, you know, a certain sexism that goes with that, there's a certain point in which it's helpful to create that balance, and learning from previous generations on what was kind of bad for society and how to show more respect and love for all people. But sometimes with these movements and philosophies, it pushes really far back to the other end, which is what we're seeing now, especially with feminism. So it's like the social media, the college, the hookup culture, the, oh, go get your career and do whatever you want, sleep around, tattoos, piercings, alcohol, drugs. And don't worry, girl, 35, you can still get pregnant at the last minute. There's gonna be this high value alpha male waiting for you at 35. And like I said, she has the choice to do whatever at any stage in her life. But to just think that you're gonna tell a nation of women that, like, oh, go through school, do your thing, career, and then at 35, this guy who's been working from high school graduation till his age of 35, now that he's high value, now that he owns a business, now that he has residual income, now that he has the ability to travel wherever and get on a plane, get in the car, on a boat, wherever, because he's free, now he's gonna repay the 35-year-old woman that didn't build anything with him, likely rejected him in whether it's 18, 19, 20, wherever, because she has so many other options. And so it's kind of at that point in her life, it's like, oh, I don't know if he's the best I can do, or whatever the case may be. Because that's the thing, everyone has their own preferences too. So some women can be looking young to start their family, whether that's finding a man for whether you get married or not, just finding a man for a relationship or for children. Some women may be in that mindset. Some also may be the opposite, like them being in their prime SMV. They just want to go to college and hook up and party and join a sorority or do whatever. And like I said, it's personal choice. Me as a 27-year-old man, I dropped out of college at 19. It was November of sophomore year, and I just didn't even want to finish the semester. I kind of just wanted to do other things in my life, not go into the college debt. I kind of started rethinking things. So if a woman my age at that time, also 19, if she stayed at school and maybe like didn't understand why I was dropping out or what my intentions on that, or, oh, like, what are you going to do without a degree? Because maybe she's just in a phase where she's just going to college because she thinks it's her next step, or that's just what you do after high school, or she's made new friends, joined a sorority, and she's just partying and parents are paying for everything, and that's all fine. Like, whatever you do with your love life, with your money, that's on you. But this whole notion that like a guy's gonna have a plan, grind through his 20s, possibly 30s, 40s, 50s, and so on, and then finally get to a point where he's owning his own life, like running his own business, running the show, free time, got people working under him so that he's in a comfortable spot, that he's just gonna turn around and just automatically owe something to someone that's his own age, where who knows what she's been doing, which she hasn't been working with him, she hasn't been helping his growth or his business. If she chose to party, that's her choice, but it's like, you can't just like hold a picket sign at a protest at 35, like men are trash. It's like, are they really, or you're just not giving men credit? Like, the men are trash thing, like a lot of these feminists that do that, it's like you rejected the guy at like 21 because you turned 21, oh, it's time for the bar, we can legally drink. And so you went as a woman, you went through your 20s, possibly 30s, just doing that, and then you come to the realization of the biological clock and like the man ascending and reality, and so now the woman switches her tune and gets mad at the guy now that he has options. The guy that she rejected at 18 or 20 or 21, right when she went to the bar, now he's 35 and he's on top of stuff where he can go back down to the late teens girl, whatever the age of consent is for that state, and he can go up to a cougar if he wants to, because he's created his value as a man where he has so many options of women of different ages and races and cultures, and women that have respected his work, or they respect him in the current time frame, right? That one girl that rejected him at 21 because she was thinking it was bar time, she maybe might not have understood his business idea or what he wanted to do with his future. Hell, his own family might not have understood. His own friends might not have understood. So he's going through this this stoic like pathway, this trajectory where he's trying to grind as a man. He's starting at the bottom of the totem pole. So what does he owe people if he has to start as like an entry-level worker right out of high school or college, and now he's in his 30s, he finally has something? He doesn't just owe something automatically to the woman that's his own age. And that's what a lot of women don't understand, and a lot of people lie to women about that kind of stuff, in terms of their biological clock and just how men and women perceive each other. Like, because you can get a career at any time. You could always go and get a job or start a business or do whatever, focus on yourself, party, have fun. But as a woman, you are not going to be of peak fertility forever or peak youth. And so when there's that trade-off where the woman has every right to assess a guy, like if I didn't want to work a job, you know, I'm out here trying to grind my business. I just previously worked for a tie-dye nonprofit here that I've been selling for out here at San Diego Zoo and the beaches. I worked there for 2.5 years. Before that, I worked at a hotel here at La Jolla Cove for almost 2.5 years there. So I've been in here in La Jolla working. Started at the hotel, then selling tie-dye, now trying to start my own business. Before I was even here,
Good idea.
hey, thanks, man. Before I was even here the last 5 years, you know, I started the hotel at age 22 as a breakfast server, and I would fill in with other departments when people would call off, and just we needed staffing issues, because that's the way I've always been with any job I've had. Like, hey, I'm pumped up, let's go to work, let's be somebody that other coworkers want to work with, or this guy calls off, yeah, I'll help your department, or he needs help today, he's having a bad day in his personal life, yeah, let's come together as coworkers and make this like a team. Like, let's all succeed, like let's congratulate each other on promotions and like someone who moves on. That's always how I've been. So I've been here in La Jolla working for the last 5 years, you know, starting at 22 as a breakfast server at a hotel, then kind of getting out of the hotel W-2 9-to-5 thing and selling tie-dye for this nonprofit off commission where I don't have a boss or overhead here directly. I'm just out at the beach selling. And now from the tie-dye nonprofit, starting my own business, being my own vendor. So there's stages of progression. So before that hotel job at 22, I did some modeling with an agency. I worked at FedEx as a package handler loading boxes. That was my one of my first jobs after dropping out of college at 19. I started at Abercrombie and Fitch as their overnight person, just like refolding clothes. Didn't like that. Went to FedEx, loaded boxes into trucks. I got in really good shape. But it, you know, it's manual labor and I didn't mind doing it. But then, you know, modeling took over and started doing a little bit of that. And then I went into the hotel hospitality, and now I'm here. But that's what I'm saying. There's this progression to things. So some woman, she sees you when I was 19, dropped out of college, got the Abercrombie job, couple months, went to FedEx, so I was still 19. Here I am loading boxes into a truck. If a woman's just like, oh, well, FedEx package handler, 19, like I said, she has every right for that assessment. It makes sense. She's young. If she wants a family, she needs a guy who has something together, whether the guy's 10 years older than me or he's just more established. He has more time to do it. So she has the right to make that assessment on my looks and my money and what I can provide, my house. But if I work through my 20s and I'm finally at a position of freedom at 30, what am I gonna do? Just like go for the woman that's single at 30, that's just on the hunt for beta male resource provider chump because she needs babies before the fertility runs out, or money because she needs to lock down somebody?